life, I hope that you can stay. My sister, and you got a man, you hope you treat you like a woman. Hey, when they let it go me, I'm missing your sincerity. I'm sorry for mistakes for letting me test you. I remember when you and I used to be best dudes. We played the games way before we had a PS2. Oh yeah, PS, sorry for debating us. Going back and forth between yeah. No matter what you think, I was never happy, yeah. But I'm happy, I'm hoping that is what I'm happy, yeah. No words and feelings, but I had to put you in. We were plenty saving. Trying to send it, go ask getting plenty of men. Me and Sender got each other's back. Vice versa, you worse to all my friends up on this track. James Bad, I see you.
Amen. Let's give him a hand.
Someone else might take it, but I told you from the start, mama, I'm gonna make it. And I told you from the start, mama, I'm gonna break it. The loop is like my daddy always told me to. I never half-assed it, just did it till I was through. Truth is, I'd probably be nothing without you. Even though I'm always huffing and puffing about you. And mom, you know I'd always be better around you. I'm glad that of all of the mothers I found you. You the best in the world, thank you for
standing and thankful for the 20 years that God gave me with the most wonderful son. My son used to tell me that when he was up in heaven before he was born, God gave him a choice of 2 mothers. He said he could have had Halle Berry or me, and he picked me. So I don't know anybody else out there said a man picked you over Halle Berry. But I know for some, you know, you say, let me just say this. I wanted to read this. Someone asked me the other day, what do I remember most? What's a thing that I remember about him? And I said it was his wisdom. And this was something he wrote in 2007. So several years ago, he had to apply for one of the summer programs. And this was actually one that he didn't get into. And I said, you know, I think they might have thought you was just a little bit too much. But one of the questions is, who do you consider a role model and why? And so this was a 12, 13-year-old boy. He said, last but not least, I don't have a role model. Not because I don't think anyone is successful, because I don't really look up to anyone and say, I want to be like him. I just believe in being me and improving myself. So, I guess I could say that I look up to my future self, because that's the only person that I want to be like in the future. was in the airport, and I was being chased. And he said, it was a group of guys, he said, like gangsters, and I'm just saying the words he used. He said, you know, these guys were black guys. And he said they were chasing me. And so I started running, and he said, I saw some white guys. So I figured, well, maybe the white guys was okay. So he said he started running to the white guys, and they were Ku Klux Klan. So he said, well, wait a minute. And he said he turned the other way, and he saw some police officers. And so he said, oh, well, I'll run that way to the police officers. And the police officer's like, oh, we got them. And so he said, oh, they're not good either. So he said he ran. And he said he got to an escalator, and he just started running up the escalator. He said he was running as if he was gliding. He said running in a way he never ran before. And he said he got up to the top of the escalator, and he looked over the escalator, and he said he saw me standing there. And I had pom-poms or white flags, and I said, Jay, you made it. Jay, you made it. And so he said, and I kind of got a little scared. I'm thinking, well, I'm about to die. Because I'm thinking he's going to come up and he's going to see me later. And so he said, Mom, you know what? I know what it means. He said, it means that I'm going to go through a lot of stuff. He said, I'm going to have some struggles. But I know at the end, you're always going to be my biggest cheerleader. And so the peace that I tell people, I've been in church all my life. I thought I was holier than dirt sometimes. And I've grown, and I've been this, and I've done that. And I've had different opinions about what happens to people. But I thank God for him sharing that dream with me. That is the peace. That's why I can praise God. That's why I can thank God. Because that dream that he allowed my son to have, because he could have had the dream and just went on about his day. But he had that dream and he shared it with me. And I've also always believed that regardless if it's an accident, anything, that something happens a couple of days before a person passes away that you don't really notice it, but it's something that happens that God kind of, the Spirit does something. And so now I know that when I get to heaven, he's going to come across to see me. And I'm going to say, baby, you made it. But I won't have to say it like, because you know what? If he had not given me that dream, I probably would be wondering. I probably would be questioning. But God gave him that dream to share with me so I could have peace. And I thank God. I thank God because the God that I serve can do all things but fail. Something like this could happen to your child. What about me? And I say to that, you know what, God? I'm not saying I like the situation that I'm in. But I want you to know as a parent, you love on your children every day. My son still crawled up and hugged me in my bed at 20 years old. He would tell anybody he was a mama's boy. But he wouldn't say it like he needed me. He just said he loved his mama and he was a male child. And to him, he didn't know all the other definitions that people had for mom. He just knew, I'm mama's boy. That's what he knew. And so, I thank God that we talked about so much stuff. He said, Mama, you think other kids talk to their parents about that? I would cringe. I wouldn't let him see me really, really cringe. Because I want him to know I still wanted him to come talk to me. He told me stuff about his friends. That's okay. I'll keep it. he pushed me to do the thing. I mean, this is my son. He would always, sometimes he would talk about, the different jobs that I have. And he said, Mom, you just work too hard on the jobs. And he would just say, he'd talk about the mansion he was going to buy me and different other things. And he just, that was just all, he just kept saying, just over the line. He said, Mom, he said, I'm going to have all those things for you. So, I know his dad's going to speak as well. But, God, I thank you. God, I praise you. God, I magnify you. God, I give you all the glory. I give you all the glory, God. I give you all the glory, God. And we know what the highest praise is. But we say, hallelujah. 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 Glory to God.
Can we just stand up on our feet? Can we just, everybody in the building, stand up on our feet? And let's praise God for the celebration of life of my son. Come on, let's put our hands together. I don't know about you, but can you turn to your neighbor? Turn to your neighbor and tell him no sad stories today. Turn to your neighbor and just tell him no sad stories today. Turn to your neighbor on the left and tell him no sad stories today. Turn to your right, tell your neighbor no sad stories today. I have to be honest with you because, yes, I had the first 3 days, my grieving was extraneously hard. Crying all night. And the friends that were staying at my house, they had to, in the middle of the night, we're talking about not just 12 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, I was on the porch and just pouring out my heart to God. And I'm going to tell you a secret, a miracle actually happened Wednesday. Because I started not to do this thing, to come down there with the young people from the Grady High School to Grant Park in the pavilion. And the Lord told me, you go down there and you testify. And I went down there and I poured my heart out to everyone. I told them I was angry at the situation and the circumstances. Why take my son, a shining light? I've been told at some points where a candle that burns twice as bright lives half as long. But I got purpose in my heart. There's got to be something. There's got to be something more. There's got to be something deeper. There's got to be either a deeper depth or a higher height to what's going on, God. And you need to reveal this to me. So I went to Grant Park and giving honor to all of my friends here, all the pulpit associates, which is actually here, my adopted father, the Reverend Dr. J.A. Milner, who kind of, through his teaching, made me more of a man in the walk that I have and made me more of a man in the talk that I have and in the life that I live. And I thank God for this man of God here. I'm telling you, you want to get your life straight. This is the church where you need to be. And I'm talking specifically to you young people. You want to get your life straight. Now, this is the church that you need to be. In the 2 years that I served here, we never had any issues with the children. We never had any babies out of wedlock. We didn't have to go down to jail, get nobody out. This man kept everybody here straight, kept me straight. I'll be honest, he chewed my behind up one time. I couldn't sit down for a week. I love this man. I always said a man that graduated from Harvard University could tell me anything. The miracle when I went down to Grant Park and I addressed the children down there. I addressed everybody down there, and people afterwards. It was just amazing the way everybody came up to me. Okay, y'all sit down for a second. The way that everybody came up to me, and and they were telling me, we're glad that you came down here. We're so touched by your testimony. Now, what I want to have is all the children that I talked to, just the teenagers from the school. Now, I want y'all to stand. Okay, I know you're here. Everybody that I talked to and shook hands with, and you told me your story. Some of them, Pastor, said that the fathers hadn't left them at 4 years old. Some of them told me that the fathers just checked out on them at 6 years old, and they're trying to get things. They're trying to get their education together. They're trying to get their lives together. I adopted these kids. They said they had been talking to Jay, and Jay was trying to tell them how to get their lives together, and it brought tears to my eyes, and some of them came up to me with tears in their eyes. I was wondering what was going on, and that was the miracle. miracle that the Lord revealed to me that through Jay's transition brought these kids to me, and I adopted every last one of them. Give them my phone number, my email address, and told them to face me on Facebook, because if you need me, I'm going to be there with the resources I have. If I run out of resources, this man here is going to take over, or the lady down, and it was really odd that I had gotten that job down at Morehouse working with the teenagers down there at the same time that Jay made a transition. And I was like, God, what are you doing here? And she's not here today. I know that the representative from Morehouse, so you hear Sister Watts, I think she's one of the big administrators, told me if I need any help to send them down there, and she'll help get them straightened out. But that is the miracle that God that left me through this transition of my son. I love my son. We did a lot of things together, music, going out and out of town. And Mom, I apologize. My mother is sitting here. Mom, would you stand? This lady that gave birth to me. Thank you, Mom. We lost our bishop 2 years ago, and that's why I was trying hard not to question God. God, I just lost my father. It ain't been 2 years ago, and now you're taking my son, and I'm the last Edward Jackson. You have to show me something here. You have to show me here. You're the God. And you know, the thing about it is, and we've had this come in our lives. I prayed with Connie night before last, and we're not living in the same house, but we purpose in our heart that even through this, that we will lift up God in our house, and that we in our house will serve God, the one true and living God, because there is nothing else in this world on this planet to live for. But the trick of it is, you have to make up your mind that you're going to do this. You have to step forth down here to the altar and give your life to Christ. You have to do it, because I'm telling you, as powerful as God is, He is not going to make up your mind for you. You have to step down here and accept Jesus into your life. Because I was called to the ministry 2 years ago, right after my dad died, and I told Pastor that I had acknowledged my call up to my life. And I'm not here trying to showboat or show off. Most of y'all know me. This is the way I am, and the ones that do know me, you know I had a close relationship to my son. And I've told Jay the same thing. You got to acknowledge Christ first. You got to acknowledge God first. And all you do, because frankly speaking, it's like building a house without a foundation. If you don't have God as a foundation, it's sure to fall. So you need to get it together and bring your tail down into the church and give yourself to God. Because until you don't have Christ in your life, you won't and you will fail. And it's not your perspective that counts. I know what you want to do. You got to get education. You got to get a job. But you got to give your life to Christ first, because you have to have some consistency in your life to keep on in the story. Be saved first. And without God, and if you're without the power of God, without the grace of God, without the love of God, you're hellbound. Y'all excuse me. Y'all excuse me. I thank God for His grace and the son, the beautiful son that He gave me. 20 years, I do know within my heart that I made the best of those 20 years with my son. And you know, sometimes it is hard to keep from beating yourself up. You should have did this, you should have done that, and you should have done that. I said, God, you know, I'm not going through that. You gave me my son, and you know I did the best that I could. Every minute that I could, we were planning to go out somewhere. He called me about taking me out on Father's Day dinner. We go on my birthday, we eat 3 slabs of ribs. We go down to that Chinese place and eat a load of crab legs and stuff. And you know, we have our funny stories, because you know how some of the musicians, you know, in the church, when they're not married and stuff, they, you know, always trying to impress this girl and stuff. And he did that little concert over at that church. I knew what was going on. You can sit down eating crab legs and talk about it, and he was telling me about the concert he did, and I was sitting right there, and I was looking at those nice young ladies that were there, and I leaned over and said, listen, you can tell me you wanted to impress that girl, but you can tell me, I won't tell nobody, you tell me, I know that's what you were doing. But I love my son, and he gave me gave us some wonderful years. PT was up here preaching a minute ago, and I remember very distinctly that night, PT, that we came over to the church, and I got on the piano, Jay got on the drums, Connie went to shouting. That was one of the wonderful times that I had with Jay, and we were just all together. Listen, you all, I'm sorry, I didn't even mean to go off like that. But I love the Lord. I love the Lord. The Lord is first in my life, and I tell people I'm not kidding about that. I'm not going to tell you I don't get upset with some of the things God do. I'm not going to tell you that sometimes it just wrecks my heart with some of the plans he has. But, I had to learn as of late to how to align my will with God. And thank you for coming, Evangelist Karen Dones. I see you over there. And sometimes maybe it'll take a while, but you have to keep plugging. You have to keep pushing. You got to get somebody to help you to understand how to align your will with God. And generally, it starts at the altar. Okay. Yes, sir. I'm through. You all keep us in your prayers. Keep me in your prayers. And pray that we stay more in the perfect will of God. I know I'm going to see Jay again. I understand it's just a body. I understand it's just a suit. It's like you switch off this suit and the spirit goes someplace else. Right now, he has a perfect suit up in heaven. That kind of suit, you can't get at Manhattan. You can't get that kind of suit at D&K. You can't get that suit over there to Hyman & Sons. You can't go to K&G and pick up that kind of suit that God is going to give you. All right, I'm through. Y'all pray for me. And I will pray for you all. And my children, I want to see every last one of y'all when I leave out of here. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your patience. Thank you so much for your love. We're going to prepare to process out of the sanctuary now. Again, those of you who desire